The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
While we have evaluated all options to best position the company for the future, we have been unable to find a sustainable path forward, says the Chief Financial Officer of Forever 21, Brad Sell. Since the recording of this episode, Forever 21 has announced that they will close all U.S. locations as they are $1.6 billion in debt. It was hours before sunrise on a Saturday morning in 2011 when crowds of teenage girls and their mothers lined up around the block outside Danbury Fair Mall in Connecticut, eagerly awaiting the grand reopening of their favorite shopping spot. With a sprawling new space nearly 80,000 square feet offering unbeatable prices, jeans for $18, a camisole for $1.90, this chain at its peak was the epicenter for up-to-the-minute trends. With 800 stores worldwide and $4.4 billion in annual revenue. But just 14 years after that morning outside the Danbury Fair Mall, one of America's fastest-growing retailers is now preparing to file for bankruptcy. Again. How did a company once considered a powerhouse in the fast fashion world go from riches to rags? And that's why this week's On Brand is on Forever 21.
We're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I am Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Okay. I couldn't figure it out. At first, I started to think it was Joanne's Fabrics.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, did she do Joanne's?
No, I looked a little bit into it because we are mourning the loss of Joanne's over here.
And I still want to do that new segment where Al plays like sad music for 30 seconds or a minute and we talk about our two favorite memories from a brand that is dying.
That's great. We will do that.
Okay, so I know very little about Forever 21. The only thing that I always thought was kind of interesting, it seemed like a fast fashion, cheap clothing store. And then when we got the Americana, which was one of our like big outdoor malls in LA, they opened a Forever 21 and it felt like they were trying to glam it up. Like the logo was like Roman numerals. And I was like, wow, they're trying something. I don't know if that is true. You can teach me, but...
Did you ever buy anything from a Forever 21? They did do some kind of like brand. I'm sure there was like a Mickey on there at some point. Is that a place where you ever got any of your favorite brands? A Diet Coke shirt?
I thought you were going to say, did you ever buy anything from Forever 21? They had a very limited vampire collab. They had capes. No, isn't it straight up girls?
No, they have men's department also.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I definitly did not know that.
Wow.
No, maybe I'm missing out.
Wow. Time to get a good closeout deal.
To Connecticut. Well, this will be fun. I'm excited to learn about a clothing brand. It's funny when we're picking our brands. I just picked my brand for next week last night. But you kind of like lay there because I'm always in bed.
You know how you're like laying there and
everyone
you're
else is like, you know how you're at your desk or you're at the office? I'm always like, you know how you're laying in bed with your octopus?
Stroking your octopus, squeezing your jelly cat.
And I go through the different categories. I'm like, because you don't want to have, I was like, have I done this? Or
you don't want to do like a back-to-back candy or a back-to-back toy.
Yeah. And I was thinking about, I was like, then I forget things we've done. I was like scrolling the web and I saw the Gap. I was like, ooh, the Gap would be good. And I'm like, oh, that was our first show. But cool. I'm excited to learn about this.
Yeah, this is one of those big fun mall brands. Honestly, I'm probably going to do a lot of mall brands over the years because just something about the mall.
I love the mall, man.
It just always pulls me back.
I'm from that time where I would do anything to get to the mall. I would mow the lawn to get a ride to the mall. I would forego my lawn making money, which I'm sure I didn't forego.
How many times did you lawn a mow?
Let's just say we just had a dirt yard. We had a bit. Okay, now I sound like I'm bragging that we were rich, but it was because it was Ohio. We had a big yard. Big yard.
Wow,
man.
a lot of grass.
A lot of grass.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm assuming kids still do that.
I don't think kids still mow the lawn.
They don't?
I don't know.
I'm Dennis the Menace?
I think you might be part of a menace generation that no longer exists.
Good God. Talk about generation. So for the Insta egg for Bailey's last week, I struggled with what I wanted to do with that egg. Sometimes something will come to me very naturally. I've learned now after doing, 50 eggs, there's a lot of ways around it. Like if you can't think of a fun visual, you can do a word search or a crossword puzzle. There's a million different types of puzzles that you can present. And I was like, how do I get them to guess Bailey? And the only thing I could think of was Beetle Bailey, which is like a comic strip from like the 50s.
From the printed paper.
And I can't even tell you how many people wrote me and were like, it's Bailey's Irish Cream, and I can't wait to learn who that cartoon is.
They thought that was the mascot of Bailey's?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not talking about him in the show. I'm like, it's old. And I knew, but I like that people still got it without knowing who he is.
Newspaper cartoons, they were like cultural. I had a Ziggy stationery. Like they were cultural institutions.
I mean, can we just talk about Ziggy for a minute?
You actually are kind of a Ziggy.
No, I'm a Garfield. I love lasagna and naps, though I don't love a sunbeam. I think he liked to nap in a sunbeam.
You don't like a sunbeam?
I'm Vampire Garfield.
That's true.
And his slave, was named John. Jenny spelled it the same way as me,
That's
which I
true.
enjoyed.
John Arbuckle. He does kind of seem like Garfield's slave.
There was...
Garfield had John wrapped around his little paw.
I feel like I talked about this before once. I feel like this is such a like 2008 thing. Someone came out with like they redid the Garfield strips. It was Garfield without Garfield.
Yes.
So they were all they took Garfield out and it was just John saying very sad things to nothing.
It was like John's descent into madness.
Yeah.
Like alone in his home, losing his mind.
So then me being the clever comedian I was at the time was like, I'm going to heighten this joke. And I made Garfield without John or Garfield. And they were just like 4 pastel squares. And I posted it on Facebook and I was like, this will kill. It's like, I think I got 2 likes.
I mean, the way that we use Facebook and social media, how it evolves so much, like Facebook will pop back up, be like a post from you 15 years ago. And you'd just be like, just had some lemonade. Yum. Like nobody uses social media like that anymore. And
that's how I just remembered this.
Sad.
This popped up in my thing. Like within the last month, it was like, you did this 12 years ago or 15 years ago. I was like so embarrassed.
Yeah. If you like had a TV show recommendation, like I would like post on your wall and go, John, I'm loving The Traitors. You should check it out. Like that would be a normal thing to post on Facebook.
Yeah. We were psychotic. And I was always testing out bits. Not that I was putting them up anywhere either. But yeah, you test it for comedy. Just so everyone knows, I am sitting here with my signed Lady Gaga insert. So I'm doing this entire show 1 foot away from something that Lady Gaga has touched.
Ooh.
So there's a nice energy in the room right now.
You're also probably, a quarter of the way through a coffee and Bailey's? How we doing?
I'm nursing a coffee and Bailey's. I've got
we talked about this a little off-brand, but John is now solidly a day drinker, so...
I am, God, all my references are so old. If you ever saw the movie 9 to 5... I'm Roz. Do you remember her? She would always be drunk, and like the main 3 girls would girls. Who am I? I'm like a 1950s ad man. And those girls would do this. Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda would do something, and they would run by, and Roz would be like drunk at her locker and be like, "Atta girl."
That is so you.
That is me.
That's on brand for you.
So I didn't share this with you.
Oh.
But I was able to, on last Saturday, enjoy a free lunch.
Do tell.
In the most peculiar way.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I had to register for pet adoption.
Okay. Take me back. Take me back. Take me back. I wish I could watch it. Like you driving in your car, stopped at a red light, seeing a sign stuck to a light post that's like pet adoption, and then really tiny it says refreshments provided.
You're close. It did all happen at a stop sign and above the U-turn.
Oh, wow.
So here's what happened. Saturday, I'm running errands or whatever. I got a real craving for wings. I had not had wings in a long time. And a couple weeks ago, I was at a get-together, and someone ordered wings and gave me 1 wing, and it was like, oh my God, I forgot how good wings are.
The heavens opened up. I mean, when you have a craving, look out.
Look out, because I got to satisfy it. So I went into Glendale and bought 16 wings.
Oh,
and that's what I was
like a lot.
They're very small at Hot Wings Cafe. Trust me.
How tiny are those birds?
I know. And then I was like, I'm eating 8 birds' wings. And then I'm like, you really think they're paired up? I was like, this is 16 different birds.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. These are the things I was thinking about as I was driving down the street. I'm like, gosh. Okay, so I've got my 16 wings in the car, and I'm driving
Out
home.
of respect, they should pair up the wings.
They should.
So you eat the wings from the same
So
bird.
you're only eating from 8 birds. Yeah, 16 seems psychotic. So I've got my wings and I'm headed home. And then I go past
So you already have food.
I already have lunch. I already
You
have
have
lunch.
piping hot lunch sitting in your passenger seat.
And I've eaten 2 of them on the way.
Okay.
Which is hard because I don't want to throw the bones out the window, and then I got to put the bones in the bag that, like, the new bone or
Yeah, then they're mingling with the freshies. That doesn't feel good. Anytime you have to return the garbage to the general pop, that doesn't feel great.
If someone's listening right now who has kind of thought maybe they have a crush on me for the last couple of months, they're like, I'm good.
And there's also somebody who's driving and eating wings right now, and they're like, I was never really into Jon, but now we're talking.
Well, if you are driving and eating wings, you might want to pull over.
Pull over, good
because
idea.
The rest of the story is crazy. So if you don't know LA, as you're leaving Glendale into like Atwater and where we live, it's like auto car zone. There's like
Yes.
every car dealership there is. And I forget which one this was. I want to say Subaru. I looked over at the Subaru lot and there are balloons, there are tents, there are a lot of dogs, and there is the Habit Burger truck. And I was like,
Fun.
Habit Burger. I like Habit Burger. And it's gotten expensive. It's like $9 a hamburger. I was
Okay.
like, there's no way they're giving away Habit Burgers.
You have lunch currently on your person.
I have the cartoon steaming hot wings, like is making the hand like, Jon.
What you were hungry for was wings. That's what you got. But you're like, a burger sounds pretty good too.
No matter what I'm hungry for, I'm always more thirsty for something free.
Okay, sure.
So I U-turn it because there's a divide in the street. U-turn it. And go park and go to the Subaru lot, a car lot,
yeah.
first of all. And I don't look. the Habit truck is to my left. I don't even look at it. I just play it cool. It's like if it's a celebrity in the room, I'm like, girl, we're all famous. I'm not going to look at you. So I didn't look at the Habit truck. And then I just started to walk into where all the dogs were. And someone's like, did you register? And I'm like, Like,
For what now?
pardon, what's happening?
To buy
here?
a car? Yeah, I'll buy a car.
Just
What's
looking
happening?
For a 4-person van. Dogs. She's like, you'd register here and then you can get your ticket for your hamburger and then go in and see the animals. I'm like, oh, sure. So I have to go on my phone, use you know how you make fun of me because I have my personal email and then my store email?
Yes.
I have a third email that's like the dark email. Like, I don't even want to see it. It's a Yahoo email.
Honestly, it's probably Yahoo.com.
Probably Yahoo, purchased
So
by
you probably
Yahoo.
don't even know the password for
It's
this.
so long. If you ever want to write me at it, this is my first email before, like now it doesn't matter, but like Jon Joseph Glover at yahoo.com.
Do you even know how to log in?
I do. I still can. And I go in and it's like stupid stuff like this. I should go in.
Just
I've
wade through the
got my
garbage.
Subaru pet thing. So she registers me and then she gives me my ticket for a hamburger. And then I couldn't be like, oh, I'll just head over there now. I went and shopped for dogs and cats. And I got a free bone that holds poop bags.
Why did you take that? You don't have a dog.
Sometimes I dog sit. And I'd be like, it'd be nice to have my own.
Sure.
It didn't come with bags because it's free.
own.
Because it's free and it's shaped like a bone. Then
No, take it back. So when you're walking around looking at them, you do like animals.
I
So
do.
when you're walking around, are you going like, oh, I do have a small place. So it is going to have to be kind of on the smaller side.
yeah, someone tried to show me a
Someone
German
was
Shepherd.
somebody literally walking you around to see the animals, or you're
No.
going by yourself?
It was a lot of people. I
Great,
think people had
okay.
brought their own dog. There was so many German Shepherds there. It was like a German Shepherd farm. It was like
Okay.
40 German Shepherds.
Okay.
And then a couple little small dogs and 2 very cute cats, which I sent a picture to Shep and I was like, look what I got. And he's like, you got those? I'm like, no.
But I pretended to
But
want
I'm pretending
them.
to, can't talk, off to get a free burger. And then I went and got my free hamburger, sat in the place alone and ate it. And they gave free fries and a fountain lemonade.
Wow.
So then I saved my wings for dinner. It all worked out really well. But I was like, Marissa's going to love this.
What I love too is that you're only telling me this because of the pod. Like, you would have taken this to your grave. I never would have come up. I'd be like, Jon, how was your week? You'd be like, pretty boring. Nothing happened. Just worked. And then now we put a microphone in front of you and you're like, well, if I must. When you were leaving, were they like, so what dog do you want to follow up with information on?
We saw you
Any pooches catch your peepers?
The funny thing is, I did give them. Oh no, I haven't checked the email. I was going to say I never got an email. I forgot. I gave them the Yahoo one. I haven't checked that. That's why I was like, they never even sent me an email.
I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they did. Hey, just following up. We saw that you really like Skeeter.
Skeeter really seemed to be drawn to you. Again, needs a home, 3 legs.
I mean, I don't know how these people that are giving away free animals can afford to hire the Habit truck, man. And hats off to the Habit, because when the In-N-Out truck comes, they don't do fries. They do small bag of chips.
Yeah.
Because they just don't want to deal with it.
Hats off. Maybe the Habit even like donated it to the event.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, like they wanted to donate to like the dog adoption community.
They're like, I am definitely not the only one that was there for a free burger.
Are you sure?
Wait, you don't think the burgers were dogs?
You know, all those German Shepherds that nobody wants at the end of the day?
They kept taking them into the back of the truck.
Okay.
All right, so
you know what those fries were? Dog tails.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
All right, Forever 21, man. I'm ready to learn about it.
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but this is a local to us company.
No.
So there's some fun facts in here, some fun trivia as Angelinos that we'll appreciate. You ready to get on the ride?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hop on. I wish we had like a hop on.
Like a train sound?
Yeah.
No, that seems...
Al, for my episodes, put in a train whistle. Okay?
I've said no to you twice now in 1 minute.
Hop on the brand train.
Speaking of Alistair made too much oatmeal and he gave me his oatmeal and I'm kind of full, but I told him I'd eat it. So I'm trying to eat it all and it's good, but it's not sweet enough, but that's Al.
So you know when you go to a diner and there's too much milkshake and they give you a little extra milkshake in like the silver cup?
No,
how much do we love that?
You know when you're at home and you make a Bailey's iced latte and then you just end up with like a shot of Bailey's? Mm-hmm. It's like that.
Okay. Al came over with such a heaping bowl of oatmeal that he had to have a little side accessory oatmeal that he was planning on eating after, but he was very nice to share it with Jon.
Now I'm eating very cold, unsweet oatmeal.
Pretty rough. In 1981.
Oh, God.
What
is there a
year. Oh, my God.
I love the beginning of the 80s. I used to be so poo-pooed about the 80s. Like, everyone would be like, the 80s, and play, like, 80s music or whatever. And I was kind of over it. I have such a nostalgia for it now. Mm-hmm. 1981, though, what is not fun? First case of AIDS. Before it was named, but that's the year it started.
So let that kind of like know that hangs in the background of everything I'm saying, that if there is a newspaper and a newsstand, the headline might be like mystery virus.
Yeah.
Gay
back then, like it would eventually be called the gay cancer. Before
you should plug your documentary that you worked on.
Vito?
Yeah.
That's the one I won the Emmy for.
I know. I don't know if all of our listeners have heard of it.
It was an HBO documentary called Vito. It was about an AIDS activist named Vito Russo. I gotta say, I've worked on a lot of documentaries over the years. Of all the films I've worked on, it's one I'm most proud of.
And you were rewarded for it with an Emmy.
And I was rewarded by the Academy.
Recognized for your work.
Recognized for my work.
Is it still available on HBO?
I don't know. Nowadays, everything you work on bounces around to so many things.
That's true.
I doubt it. At one point, I think it was I saw it on a plane on like Netflix. I was like, I did that.
Go to Tubi. Maybe it's on Tubi.
Yeah.
In 1981, 18-year-old Don Wo Chang and his wife Jin Sook moved to Los Angeles from South Korea with no money, no college degrees, and speaking very little English.
I got a good feeling about this.
Based on where we know it's going. Do immediately scours newspaper job listings, and by Monday, remember looking for a job in the newspaper, by the way?
Oh my God, that montage where you're like circling all the things that you're qualified for.
In a big red pen.
The same way, can I tell you, I've lived in LA long enough. That's how I looked for an apartment.
Oh, yeah.
The Recycler. Do you remember The Recycler?
Yes.
It was like basically a newspaper where you'd find your apartments and your cars and everything.
Roommate wanted $400 a month.
Yeah.
So he's looking at newspaper job listings. By Monday, Landing in America, he's working at a coffee shop washing dishes in the morning shift. He says he was making minimum wage. It wasn't enough to get by. So he tacked on 8 hours a day at a gas station after his coffee shop shift, and then he would work until midnight as a janitor. So he is a hustler.
Minimum wage in 1981 was honestly probably like $1.35.
I'm sure. You know what his wife's job was? Hairdresser.
I love that.
So she's gabbing away in the salon, doing perms, and he's sweating to get across town for his next gig.
Wow.
God bless him. So 3 years later is 1984, not the novel. Not the banned book.
Yeah, what is it? Orville
Redenbacher. Not Orville Redenbacher's 1984. They have
Biography.
saved...
Still popping.
They have now saved $11,000.
Holy cow. In now money, that's $4 million.
That's a lot, which they used to open a 900 square foot clothing store in Highland Park.
This is why I'm not successful. I have $11,000. I'm like, okay, I can get 13 totes, 40 vinyls. I hate myself. Good for them.
Signed Arnold
Highland
Schwarzenegger.
Park. You know who lives in Highland? Well, I shouldn't say. I don't want to tell where people live.
Who? Oh, your friend.
Yeah, but I shouldn't say where she lives. That feels creepo.
Highland Park it's like about 10 minutes from us, so that feels kind of close. It's a local story. So that's a neighborhood here in Los Angeles, and their store was called Fashion 21. He says he chose to open a clothing store because as a gas station worker, he would see a lot of these fancy cars come in, and he would actually ask them, he would say, what do you do for work? Can I ask? And a lot of people who drove the fancy cars, they worked in the clothing industry.
That's so interesting. There's a guy on TikTok, that's like his bit. He goes around, I think he's in New York or other places, and anyone that has like a really fancy car, when they get out, he's like, hey, can I ask you what you do for a living? And then he does a little mini interview on
funny.
What's the most money you made on a deal or this or that.
Are all of them in the garment business?
They all own their own part owners in Forever 21.
He says he chose to put 21 in the name because he saw it as the most enviable age. Do you think 21 is the most enviable age?
I mean, listen, I don't want to make this pod about me, but this is very paralleled to Hollywood Justin.
Okay, tell us the story.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I picked Justin in Hollywood because they seem more enviable than Los Feliz John. So it's
off the plane from Ohio. It's like, okay, well, how can I really rope him in?
Yeah.
Justin, which is a sexier name than John Arbuckle from Garfield.
Right. And I didn't have a nephew named Justin at the time. So now it seems creepy.
You didn't live in Hollywood, but that's a very enviable place to live.
But I lived kind of like in East Hollywood.
Sure. Adjacent.
Adjacent.
So he thinks 21 is like the sweet spot where if you're younger, if you're a teenager, you kind of aspire to be 21, to be like a true adult. And then if you're older, maybe you want to be seen as younger. He thinks that is just like the perfect sweet spot to put in his branding for his store.
Love it.
The couple took advantage of wholesale closeouts to buy merchandise from manufacturers in downtown LA. So they were using their proximity to downtown LA to nab some deals straight from the manufacturer. They focused on designs similar to those seen in South Korea, where they're from, targeting the Los Angeles Korean American community. Something interesting at that time is that they turned away from the industry standard of rotating items seasonally. So it would typically be like, you have your winter clothes, your fall clothes. Instead, Fashion 21 brought in new items far more often to keep up with trends. So every time you came in, like it could be even every week, you could find something new.
Wow.
And that feels like something that we kind of think as being normal now, but Fashion 21, Forever 21, they invented a lot of these things, actually. This like super hyper trend where it's like things go out of style, they're going to be gone so fast, you have to get it when you see it. It could be gone next week.
Well, and I don't want to, I know I've already brought up this is a time period of AIDS. I don't want to be negative Nelly here, but I do feel like I've read it recently that there's enough clothing on Earth for everyone to never have to buy clothing again.
Beyond, like probably 4 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they basically, well, we'll get to it.
Oh,
Fast
that's part of
fashion destroyed the globe.
Yeah.
And will for generations to come.
But it's cute.
It's cute and it's trendy and it's hot and it's what everybody's wearing.
A Diet Coke.
Their system worked, and in its first year, this little 900 square foot shop, Fashion 21 in Highland Park, sold $700,000 in sales.
Wow.
In its first year.
Wow, that's pumping.
It's pumping.
Mid-80s. Oh my God. This
Oh
is
my
like when
God.
swatches are hitting. That would go perfectly with fast fashion from Fashion 21.
Right?
Love it.
So what began as a store with a largely Korean customer base, Do and Jin, they see huge potential. They started switching from sourcing clothing from local manufacturers to importing it cheaply from abroad. They would leverage their successes and they would start opening new stores in California every 6 months, hugely expanding their customer base and putting them on the map. At this time, they also changed the name from Fashion 21 to Forever 21 to emphasize the idea that, quote, for anyone who wants to be trendy, fresh, and young in spirit.
Love it.
That's us, right? Trendy, fresh, and young in spirit.
That defines us.
So now by 1995, Forever 21 has expanded beyond California with a new store in Miami's Mall of the Americas, marking the beginning of its national rollout. It continues to expand throughout the United States, opening stores in cities like Chicago and New York. And by 1997, Forever 21 had 40 stores across the U.S.
By what year?
1997. What happened in 1997?
That year seems familiar to me. Something.
I have a sinking feeling that something happened in 1997.
I can't think of another pun.
It's on the tip of my...
Rose?
Rose.
I can't think of puns. Titanic came out. It was a great year. God, can you just dress head to toe in Forever 21 clothing, wearing a Swatch watch, and going to see Titanic?
I mean, God, you'd never be happier.
Is there a better night?
2001, they have their first Hazinga.
Oh, boy.
Here's a headline you don't want for your business.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Garment workers sue Forever 21, alleging LA sweatshop conditions.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sweating here, and we have the air conditioning on. What is a sweatshop? Wherever I'm at, it's a sweatshop.
Is Al running a sweatshop?
This is a sweatshop. Look at me.
John Glover sues producer Alistair Walford over podcast sweatshop conditions. They filed suit in 2001 saying they were denied lawful wages, exposed to dangerous work conditions. They claimed they sewed, ironed, or packed Forever 21 clothing 6 days a week, sometimes 12 hours a day, for far less than minimum wage. They settled with the retailer for an undisclosed amount.
Why are people bad?
Why are people bad, John?
Why are people
bad? Be good.
You're making a ton of money. You're growing rapidly. Just pay people normal, like, why? I feel like whenever I hear any of these stories, there's always enough to go around.
And they do seem like good people. Doe and Jen seem like good people. So I don't know if this was something that was just kind of like happening unbeknownst to them. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because they do seem like good people. They are also Christian, and there is a Bible quote little thing on the bottom of the bags. They're one of those like John 3:16 kind of people. Proverb, is that it? Whatever.
Hey, it's Siri, what do you call Bible things?
It's what's on the bottom of the In-N-Out cups. So not to say that they're good people because they're Christian, but I feel like they wouldn't have intentionally caused malice.
Right.
Because they do now a lot of philanthropic work. It does seem to be kind of part of their personality to be generous and kind. First Hazinga, 2001. We're not off to a great start, but that's okay. 2003, we got our new website. A couple years later, new men's line. So they've had a new men's line since like 2005, John.
That is the biggest thing I'm learning about this brand. I literally have only associated Forever 21 as a woman-forward brand.
You could have been popping in the mall, grabbing a pair of jeans. They're probably the kind of jeans you like, very stretchy.
But here's what I've learned. I went through a period where I got a bunch of H&M jeans. Mm-hmm. They fit well. They were slim cut. I loved them. They fell apart. They did not last like Levi jeans. I've run some of my Levi's ragged, man, and they don't get holes. Those H&Ms were splitting at the pockets. Like they had a pretty short lifespan. And
that is a big criticism of these fast fashion brands is that the quality is just not there. You wash it once and it's destroyed. So are you really saving money if you have to like replace something, every 2 months?
Yeah, you're not saving money or the environment.
No, or certainly not the environment. In 2005, Forever 21 now has 200 stores. And something they did to expand their power was they would notice when a competitor of theirs would file for bankruptcy, and they would use it as an opportunity to expand their reach. So the biggest example of this is in 2005 when they bought 150 stores from Gadzooks. Do you remember Gadzooks, small brand?
Gadzooks.
For $33 million. So as soon as they had profit, they would parlay it. They would reinvest it in these acquisitions of their competitors.
And then the Gadzooks would become a Forever 21.
Yeah. So they would just they were hemorrhaging money for the sake of growth. We'll see how it goes.
Well, you know what I'm always shocked by is when I hear these things and I'm like, Gadzooks was worth $33 million? It's like this garbage store that nobody goes. I mean, I don't really remember it well enough to know, but
yeah.
I feel like I hear that a lot when I'm always shocked by how much an acquisition is worth.
It is pretty wild because the numbers do feel all made up.
Yeah.
And even talking about that, we'll talk about bankruptcy. It's like, what is bankruptcy? You don't have to pay that money. That just doesn't make any sense.
I used to always think bankruptcy meant like you are gone, but that is not the case.
No, you can stick around.
Yeah.
You can be revived.
Yeah.
Like, where'd we go?
Joann's tried to.
Joann's tried.
They failed. They're gone.
Yeah.
Kmart tried. They're gone.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's sad. It's sad when it happens to a place we love. The company's key to success was simple. They say they cultivate a huge following by selling super, super, super trendy clothing for extremely low prices. This is something that we expect. We know the term fast fashion now. Forever 21, I believe, was the first company to really embody what that means. Like the cheapest possible, lowest quality. What is the trend? The trend is seen, it's out a week later, it's on your backs, it's in the garbage all within a month.
It's kind of like, if you compared it to television, it's kind of like the South Park of fashion. That's why South Park at the time, like animation was all sent overseas and you drew cells and animation was much more complex.
For sure.
And then South Park came along and the way that they did their animation allowed them to be able to make a show in like a week so they could be very topical.
That's exactly what they were going for. In fact, Sook was eventually approving over 400 new product designs a day, just to give you an idea.
His nickname was Mr. Hanky. That's crazy. 400 a day is bananas.
400 a day. I know. So it's like you're thinking in a month, just this inventory, this website. And we'll kind of talk about the locations as well. Forever 21 was soaring by 2010. There were 500 stores across the country. The Changs had made it to number 79 on the year's Forbes 400 list of the richest Americans. So they're approaching billionaire status.
2010 doesn't even seem that long ago.
I know, but then do the math.
15 years.
That's a while.
You know what I heard yesterday?
What?
I hate it when I hear these things.
What?
You know in Back to the Future, when he goes back in the DeLorean to when his parents were in school in 1955? If we were to do that right now, we would go back to 1995.
I hate that.
I hate that so much.
We would listen to, on the radio, we would listen to oldies, like oldies music from the 50s, which was music from like 20 years prior, which was the 50s.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to oldies on the radio,
it's The Cure.
It's like Nickelback.
Yeah. It makes me insane. The Cure is 40 years old.
It is wild. Such a bummer.
Yeah.
Getting old sucks. So the first location in 1984, it was a very modest 900 square foot. It just looked like a little neighborhood shop. But the stores just kept getting bigger. Some of the next stores that they opened were a few thousand square feet. By 2019, their average store was 38,000 square feet.
I will say that Americana one seemed enormous.
That was very common. It was the average. The one in Times Square was 4 floors, more than 90,000 square feet. There's one in Vegas that was 126,000 square feet. The biggest one is 162,000 square feet. That's 3 football fields. It's on par with the size of a Costco.
I was going to say, that's like the H-E-B of like shitty clothing.
So imagine that shopping experience where you go in and 400 new designs are being approved a day. It's the size of a Costco. It's like, I just want to get a pair of leggings. Like, where do I go?
Yeah.
You'll be here for days. It's terrible.
That's too much.
So what would happen is when a Sears or a Mervyn's or a Borders Books and Music would close in a mall, Forever 21 would move in. And that is a really high rent to pay.
They can be compared to so many things. They're like the Spirit Halloweens of fast fashion.
They are, yeah, because they move in.
Yeah.
Like a little succubus.
They're a little succubus.
One thing that Doe said is that big stores always really appealed to him. Like that just was been kind of part of his American dream, is like, what's the biggest store I can have? And I don't think that was really like a sound business investment, because I don't think it helped the shopping experience. I think it hindered it.
He should have moved to Texas.
Oh, he personally should have moved to Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get a big old house.
Yeah.
And then just like retire and be happy.
We'll just open big stores in Texas. I mean, it does make sense with them in like Times Square and Vegas. Like everyone is bigger in those places.
No, but they're all over. Like the standards for Forever 21 in a mall would be the size of a Borders Books and Music. That is crazy.
And they were always on their own. They weren't part of like the Structure. I know like Structure was part of the Limited, I think.
Yeah, they were their own company. And it was a family-run company until its dying day, which we'll talk about a little bit. But it was the couple, Doe and Jen, and their 2 daughters. And it was a family-run company. So there was not like a big board. There wasn't a lot of people weighing in, which is kind of contributing also to maybe some of these like misguided misguided business decisions. Because of all their expansion, rapid expansion, huge expansion into malls, Forever 21 became one of the largest tenants of American malls. And at 2015, the company hit its peak. Nearly 800 stores worldwide, over $4 billion in sales, as I said in the beginning. And Chang and Sook are on the list, the wealthiest Americans, and they're on the magazine's cover that same year. So they're like billionaire status now.
Wow.
Their net worth is like $5 billion.
I just want to be a billionaire
You
for like
do?
once in my life.
Why?
Just once.
What do you want to get?
Everything.
Like what?
A house.
I mean, you're
boat.
lying about adopting a dog to get a free burger. Like aim for like millionaire.
But then I could go to Habit and just buy a hamburger.
I don't think you need to be a billionaire to go to Habit and buy a hamburger.
I adopted a dog.
You're in your car with the windows rolled up.
It's been on the porch this whole time. I named him Pod.
If you adopted a dog to get a free burger, that would be, I feel like we're a couple of years away from that happening.
Next level. And then I
That's
just put the
next
dog
level.
in the storage unit.
Meow.
That's what you think dogs sound like?
When they're sad, as
Oh.
you're shutting the door, you're like, bye-bye, see you at
Meow.
Halloween. Meow. Things start to go downhill fast. Oh no. So part of what made them popular in the first place was the fast fashion model. And even though the products were always mass produced, they still felt unique because the stores only sold select styles for a limited time. So it was like you had to get it because it was going to be gone. But as the company focused on growing bigger, they had to churn out more and more and more and more designs. The merchandise started to lose its luster. We're having a quantity over quality kind of situation.
Well, and it also seems like I'm sure at some point there was just a lot more competition. Like you would have had, you now have Hot
Pocket.
Pockets. Okay, real quick, I got a Hot Pocket recently for the first time in probably 15 years.
Ham and cheddar or
Pepperoni. Not good.
I don't think those are good anymore.
Not good. But you have Hot Topic, you have Zara, you have H&M. Like there's so many like fast fashion places.
And those places like H&M and Zara, even though they are fast fashion, they still at least pretend to be fancy. Like Meghan Markle and that new show on Netflix, everyone's making fun of her.
Everyone's making fun of her. I don't want to watch it.
She's wearing Zara pants. Like she wouldn't be wearing Forever 21 pants.
You know what I missed that was only here for a minute, but it falls into that category?
What?
Topshop.
Topshop. We had Topshop for a minute.
What happened to Topshop?
Didn't we have a joke about Topshop? Like
Yeah.
I would say like, oh, I like your shirt. And you'd go, oh, I got it at Topshop.
I picked this up at Topshop.
I don't know if you ever bought anything from there. But
I'm sure I didn't, but it was huge too, and it was in the Grove, but I feel like it was here for like a year.
yeah, things like that, they just go too big.
Yeah.
So their clothing compared to like the Zara or the H&M that would have kind of a designery feel, it was like simpler, more basics, more kind of just like timeless kind of things. The Forever 21, and there's a whole rabbit hole. If you look up like bad Forever 21 clothes.
It's going to be those stupid mustaches.
Sure, the stupid mustaches are on like everything.
I hate those mustaches.
A lot of you don't have a mustache tattoo on your finger?
Why are those still around? Like, aren't we done? And the beards and the...
It's all that kind of shit. Like it would be like a fishnet hoodie that's like on the back spray painted like avocados are bae. Like literally, like if you look at a list, there's so many on BuzzFeed all over of like stupid, horrible Forever 21 clothes. Avocados are bae. It's like, what is this even? Horrible. So they're not keeping up with the competition. The inventory is losing quality. Meanwhile, you're just like wading through garbage in these stores. Like you're like have to get on 2 escalators to like find your socks. And it's like, what is happening? E-commerce, it's booming. Naturally.
Of course.
Traditional retailers like Forever 21 that feel really confident in the mall space. That's what they've invested so much of their resources into. They're struggling to adapt to the change in customer behaviors. According to a March 2019 survey, millennials, we'll see this if this is true as a couple of millennials, you and me, 60% of their purchases online prefer online shopping over going into a physical store. It's tough. For some things, yeah. For some things, no.
I know. Clothes are hard because I do feel like I tend to buy... I'm always in between sizes, like standard sizes. So I tend to buy 2 of things and then return whichever one didn't fit. And it's kind of exhausting.
It's exhausting. Returns, I feel like you end up not really saving any time. And the sizing is different from brands. Like you always have to look at that. I love that they added this to reviews online where it'll say like fits large or like runs large, runs small. And like it'll be a slider and everyone will kind of vote.
Yeah.
And I find that to be really helpful. But it's the kind of thing where I feel like you think it saves you time, but then it actually doesn't.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of things, I prefer going to a physical store.
But that being said, I hate going into a dressing room like if I'm like, oh, this is cute, but is it going to fit? And I'm like, I'll stay in the store and be like, I have to take off my shoes, undo my pants, take off my pants to see if this fits.
It is rough. You know who actually has hurt me more than anybody I've ever met?
Don't say David.
The Target dressing room. second only to my husband. The Target dressing room.
Target dressing rooms are
They have the audacity to show me what I look like from the side and slightly behind in a bathing suit. How dare you? That is violence. They're like, what if we have a mirror in the front. So, we're familiar. It's like when the camera switches the angle on you know what I mean? You're used to seeing yourself like mirror on like your phone or whatever. And then it flips it and you're like,
people
who
freak
is
out.
she?
Yeah. This is what everyone sees.
That's how this is. I'm used to seeing myself from the front in a bathing suit, but then there's a mirror to my right. There's a mirror to my left. There's a mirror slightly behind. And I'm like, I don't need to know what goes on back there. That's not my business.
Someone recently showed me a photograph they took of my back. Like, I was like, that's what the back of my head looks like? That's what my hair looks like back there?
Horrible. Not
Wait,
for me to know.
Wow.
No, I mean, I don't want to know.
No,
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Never tell me.
And do you do this when you're trying on clothes at a dressing room and they say, you can just tell us if you need a different size? Or you're like, I actually need a size down. But while you're there, go ahead and bring a size up too, just in case.
I am such like a people pleaser that I don't even want the dressing room attendant to feel bad. So I'll take everything I got and then she's like, how did it all work out? I'm like, great, love it, gonna buy it. And then I'll go back and I'll place them back on the racks myself.
You don't want to go on the go backs.
It's a little embarrassing to be like, everything's bad. I'm hideous. I don't look good in a wide leg. These barrel jeans. Have you seen barrel jeans that girls are wearing now?
No.
Makes girls look like Yosemite Sam.
It's everything. It'll go away.
I'll Google barrel jeans. There's some that are really extreme. It's basically, if you don't know, the outside seam of the jeans bows out so that like your legs are like kind of like barrel shaped. And the extreme version of it, you're like you just got off a long horseback ride. Al's laughing. Are you seeing these barrel jeans?
Does it look like bow-legged?
But it's that thing with trends where I can like almost say, oh, that does look kind of like cool and modern, but I don't have the foresight to know, if I get a pair of these, John's laughing too, he's looking at barrel jeans. I don't have the foresight to know, if I get a pair of barrel jeans, in 2 years, I'm going to be looking back and being like, oh my God, what a stupid trend. Like, how did I think that looked good?
They're like bell bottoms, but in the middle. And then they go, yeah, the bell's in the middle and then they go back. Those are stupid.
It's quite silly.
I hate most jean trends.
You'll see me in barrel jeans probably in the next 2 months, but
mom jeans came back, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you're a mom.
I'm a mom. We like to, the pooch, the lower tummy. We like to keep that.
The 16-inch zipper.
Zipped up. You know who I don't miss? A little low-rise jean with a little 2-inch zipper.
I will never understand. This isn't even. Are these low-rise? The boys that wear the pants that you just see all their butt and underwear. I'm like, it drives me so crazy because I don't understand how they stay on.
This is a real old man take, but I do agree with this. How are they not falling? How do they fall down enough to go fully below your ass, but not fall down enough to go down below your knees?
If mine go down like a half an inch, I'm so annoyed that I have to like yank them up and tighten my belt.
Do you think they cinch the belt under the butt?
I truly have never understood. I would like a Netflix 5-part series on
these
how these pants work.
If you or your son wears their pants like this, oh God, I'm going to have such a hard time if like any of my kids want to wear these ridiculous things.
I mean,
kids these days.
Now, they'll wear anything, man.
What a time to be alive.
They're like, everyone's wearing pillowcases now. I need to go get a pillowcase.
It's rough. And I mean, the trends are coming. It's tough. In 2020, Forever 21 files for bankruptcy.
Oh,
we knew it was coming. We know why. The writing was on the wall. They're purchased by, companies like this. It's like, these are some of the richest companies in the world. I've never heard of them. Authentic Brands Group.
Of course, yeah.
Simon Property Group.
One of the best.
And Brookfield Property Partners.
I have stock in.
Okay. For $300 million in February 2020. According to USA Today, the Authentic Brands chief executive Jamie Salter previously said during a conference that purchasing Forever 21 was probably the biggest mistake I have made.
Or as we like to say,
Huzinga. 2025, Forever 21 is reportedly filing for bankruptcy again. So during that time between 2020 and 2025, they tried to come out and say, use all the buzzwords. We're like restructuring, we're shifting to a different model, we're focusing,
synergy,
aligning, realigning, digital first.
Onboarding, put a pin in it.
Exactly. They said all that in 2020. They're saying it all now. It's not happening. It's
Are
a
they
little
still
too late.
open? Are they still stores?
The stores are still open, and I think they're trying to maybe find a way to avoid, which like bankruptcy. They're $500 million in debt. Like, what can you do? I don't understand.
That's the other thing I never understand when a company's like, we're losing $8 billion a year, but we have a path forward. I'm like, you do?
You do? Like Netflix, $100 billion in debt. Like, you think like my $9 a month subscription is going to get you out of that hole?
Yeah.
Crazy. So as we said, they've had some hazingas over the years. We've talked about a few of them. They've been heavily criticized, rightfully so, for the wastefulness of fast fashion. The clothes, they basically go from the factory straight into a dolphin's blowhole. And it's terrible. We know it. Fortunately, the culture is changing and there's more of a focus from a consumer, you and me, to shop sustainably. So now, even as companies are using that as part of their branding, even if they're doing it just to cut because it's like a buzzword, if they're actually doing it, it's good. Saying like, we use recycled plastic in our fibers, or we don't just throw it right into the ocean when we're done. That's on consumers' minds. And Forever 21 and like garbage in the ocean are like side by side.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like separate those. They would have to do some serious rebranding to get out of that.
The fashion industry in general seems like it's been pretty rough on the environment, because you have fast fashion who's like just producing too much, but then you have luxury brands. Even if they're not producing as much, you see when things don't sell, they just destroy them.
They're sawing a Balenciaga ball gown in half and
because
tossing it.
That's the only way they can keep their brand as valuable as it is.
It's ridiculous. It must change. It must change now.
It must change. Everyone on Skid Row should have
Balenciaga.
What's the plaid one?
Burberry.
They're the ones that I remember getting in trouble because they're like, we're not giving our clothes to homeless people.
They were supposed to.
I
think they should.
They should.
Copyright lawsuit. So this is a big one. And there's a lot of brands who've gotten in trouble for this over the years. Urban Outfitters is a big one that steals designs from
like
independent
influencers
designers
and people online.
Yes, that's very bad. And
Zara did that.
Forever 21 did it too. And something else they would do knockoffs of name brands. So they didn't just steal from independent designers. They would also steal from Abercrombie, Gucci, Adidas. If you have 3 stripes, that's Adidas copyright. So they would do track pants that had like the 3 stripes, like Adidas, in the same exact way. That's copyright. They can't do that. Gwen Stefani, Rihanna, Ariana Grande, they would rip off their designs. Well, Ariana Grande she sued Forever 21 $10 million for using a model that she said looked like her in an ad. With like a little nod to, what was that song you were trying to quote? Like it, buy it.
If I
don't want it, buy it.
I got it. I forget. I can never remember it, but I love it. But I feel like I remember this now because I feel like, didn't they like go to her to be the model? And she was like, no. And then they got a lookalike, I thought.
They got a lookalike. This is the model with the lyrics from Seven Rings. And it says, gee, thanks, just bought it. And it looks like her, but I don't know if that's $10 million bad, but Forever 21.
Is her name, does it sound like Ariana Grande? Does it say?
It's Gloriana Blomday.
Oh my, well now I see, of course.
Now you
10
see.
million.
I think their biggest problem was, as I mentioned before, how tightly they were keeping 100% control of the company. So for 30 years, it was just, as I said, Doe and Jin at the top, their 2 daughters as vice presidents, and nobody else weighing in. Like no other advisors, no board, nobody with true business experience. Obviously, they had this vision and they were the ones that took it to a $1 billion company. But I think there's a time to outsource some help. Some people who said, maybe we don't need 165,000 square foot Forever 21.
Yeah.
Maybe like the size of a Gap would suffice.
Yeah.
A regular store footprint. So what happens with Forever 21, the future is unwritten. They're on the brink of filing for bankruptcy again. The headlines that are coming out as of just this month is that they are going under and they're liquidating all their inventory. They're closing all their stores. We'll see. It's yet to be written. Despite the fate of the company, the fate of the founders, I think it's very special that they were 2 immigrants from South Korea. They came here with nothing, no college education, honestly penniless, and they made a $1 billion company.
Yeah.
They're no longer billionaires. They're want millionaires.
Just once I want to be a millionaire.
But it's the American dream, and it's going to probably destroy the earth in the process. But they had a good run.
Wow. I don't know how to feel.
I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them for what they did.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is the American success story that you hear about.
It is.
Coming to America and being able to fulfill your dreams.
I agree. And so with that, we're going to play a little game.
Oh my gosh.
Called Forever 20 Fun.
Oh, it's a pun.
I am going to tell you the name of a celebrity, and you tell me if they are 21 or not 21.
Currently?
Yes.
This will be easy.
Billie Eilish. Is she 21 or not 21?
That's hard. Wait, give me 1 second.
No.
Hey, Siri.
No.
What year was Billie Eilish?
No,
born?
you can't phone a friend. Another old reference. Who wants to be a millionaire?
She is not 21.
You're right. Billie Eilish is 23. And for the remainder of the game, you will not be permitted to use Siri.
All right.
Kylie Jenner, is she 21 or not 21?
Alexa.
Alexa's gone, babe.
Kylie Jenner is 21.
Kylie Jenner is not 21. She is 27. She was born in 1997.
She does look old.
Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner's boyfriend. Is he 21 or not 21?
Wow, this game is so hard. He's been in so many things. He can't be only 21. He would have started when he was 10. Not 21.
You're right. He was born in 1995, making him 29 years old.
Yeah.
Zendaya. You don't know who Zendaya is? Wow.
Who is it? Am I gonna get backlash?
She's very famous.
What is
Euphoria was her biggest show.
Never seen it. Oh wait, was she in something that we saw recently and you guys were like, she was from Euphoria?
She was in Challengers.
I'll just say 21.
She's 28.
So far, no one's been 21.
Olivia Rodrigo. Is she 21 or not 21?
Definitely 21.
So
No,
close.
she's
Olivia's
22.
not 21. She's 22. She was born in 2003. This game made me so sad.
8 years after the current day Back to the Future backline.
Harry Styles. Is he 21 or not 21? This is an easy one.
Oh, he's definitely not 21.
Do you know how old he is?
Well, he became famous in like 2010, and then he was probably 20, so 33.
So close. He's 31. He
Yeah.
was born in 1994.
Oh, he's so hot. We're ready for him to come back. He's been taking some much
We are
needed rest.
waiting. I imagine you with a bib and a knife and fork waiting at the table, licking your chops for Harry Styles to come back.
Hopefully wearing a pearl necklace.
Oh, I hope so. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Oh, Finn.
Mm-hmm.
We like Finn. Older.
How old? Do you think he's 21 or not 21?
He's not 21. He's 26.
You're right. He's not 21, but he's actually 22. He was
Wow.
born in 2002.
Wow.
Millie Bobby Brown, another Stranger Thing.
Boo. We hate her. She seems so annoying.
Is Millie Bobby Brown 21 or not 21?
She was really young in Stranger Things when she first started. And now she's really annoying. So I would say she is 23.
She was born in 2004. She is 21.
Oh, wow.
Sabrina Carpenter, is she 21 or not 21?
What a doll she is,
Very
man.
cute.
She's like a 50s pinup girl.
She's
I just
great.
love her. I have a signed album by her.
Of course.
She is,
But is
not-
she 21?
she's not 21.
She's not 21. She's 25.
Yeah.
Good for her. Last one, Jojo Siwa.
I thought you were going to say me.
Is Jojo Siwa 21 or not 21?
I think that
It feels like she's been around for 100 years.
I know. And I feel like I recently saw that she is 21. And I was like, God, if she's this exhausting already, I think she is 21.
You're correct. Jojo Siwa is 21. Thank you for playing
Wow.
Forever 20 Fun. I am shocked. Jojo Siwa is going to be around for a long time.
Man.
She was born May 19th, 2003.
We have a lot of years with JoJo Siwa. See ya. More like JoJo. See ya.
Oh, I'm going to circle back. I'm going to be a contrarian. I like her.
Okay. So read your book on
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt and watch your JoJo Siwa vids.
Well, John, I feel like I'm 21 after this fun hour we've had chatting about malls and shopping and Forever 21.
You're not.
Are you sure?
You're pushing the big
Excuse me? I'm sorry, what?
3-0
I'm sorry, what?
plus 10, right?
You'll know because I will be having a big blowout bash.
Well, that'll be fun.
You, me, Vegas.
You, me, vaping.
Thank you so much for a fun episode.
Yeah, this has been very interesting. I like learning new things about brands I know nothing about. And now that I know that they haven't quite gone out of business, I'm going to run over to Forever 21.
So are you saying it's on brand for you then?
No, it's not. I have no desire to go there. I'm kind of over disposable fashion. I mean, I'll still buy it. I just I don't buy a ton of clothes anymore.
Yeah.
I have so much.
You have so many clothes.
I have so many clothes. And now I like that I have a venue where I can just show t-shirts off. But no, I would say that it is not on brand for me. I say down with them. You had a good ride. They started when HIV started and almost ended when COVID hit. They're bookend with disease. Maybe that's the world telling them something. Time to go.
Buzz off.
Buzz off.
My peak of Forever 21, there was a time that I shopped there pretty frequently, and I think it was at their peak, like 2015. And I haven't shopped there probably in 10 years because the clothes are disposable. I once heard that about Britney Spears at the peak of her fame, that she would wear a pair of underwear, like a fancy pair, like a fancy lacy thong, wear it one time and then just throw it in the trash. And I think that's like Forever 21. You wear it once, you throw it in the trash. It would be an absolute like emergency. Maybe if I like spilled an entire cup of coffee on like my blouse as I'm on the way into a meeting and I'm like, I just need to get something off the rack really quick and cheap.
Yeah.
Then and only then. In this reality, I'm going to meetings. I'm walking the city. I'm drinking a hot cup of coffee. I'm living in New York. So that's
running a corporation.
Exactly. That's another lifetime. So for me, it's off brand.
And you have an attaché case.
I have an attaché case.
You know, we
with
should go
documents.
visit it though and do a quick. We haven't done a field trip in a while.
I would love to do a field trip. The one closest by us, the mall, they closed. So
The Americana?
yeah, they're not there anymore.
Never mind.
I know.
I don't want to drive far for it.
You're like, sounds fun. You're like, nope.
No. Well, thank you so much. This has been very fun. I love learning about a brand that I know very little about. But now on a somber note, I would like to say goodbye to an iconic brand in a new segment that we're doing called In Memoriam. Party City. I don't have a lot of memories of you. Years ago, I had to go to you in North Hollywood to get a helium tank. And then I probably didn't go again for 20 years, and I got Mickey Mouse balloons for my mom's milestone birthday a couple of years ago. So because I only went there twice, I can see why you're going out of business. I'm sorry I didn't go more. I wish you well.
Party City. I frequented your hallowed halls perhaps 8 to 10 times a year, which may come as a surprise to those listening. It's at you where I got costumes for the neighborhood tree lighting festival, elf costumes for myself, my husband, and 2 children. At this point, I think we have 6 or 7 Christmas costumes, which seems like more than an average family of 4, but we deemed that amount necessary. Every year we would go for a numeral balloon to celebrate a birthday, get that inflated with some helium. We would go to get tablecloths when Dollar Tree was too far away. Wanted to get their 99-cent plastic tablecloths, but sure, Party City's closer, we'll swing by and we'll pay $2.50. It's at you that your Halloween displays traumatized the children with visions of grim reapers and scary werewolves. And your going out of business emails haunt my inbox on a near daily basis. Just today, I got one 3 hours ago. Final 2 weeks. Some stores may close early. Prices slashed. 70 to 80% off. Some exclusions apply. Honestly, I'm seeing costumes and accessories 80% off. I am considering going to you today for some Halloween costumes that I might consider for this Halloween. Party City, you were one of the good ones, and I was honestly shocked and saddened to hear of your closing.
We wish you well.
We wish you well.
Okay. So No, that's sad. But before we go, of course, I want to give out our shout outs to our Insta Egg winners. If you're not familiar with our Instagram, every Wednesday I post an Insta Egg, which is a puzzle that lets you figure out what our brand is going to be that week. If you solve it, I send you a little freak badge and your name gets added to our Wheel of Freaks, where I pick several people to be our freaks of the week. And that's who these people are. So congratulations to, and I did it again. I'm adding the first person who guesses the Insta Egg correctly to the list. So that goes out to Lexi. Though I will say, Lexi, and I know we've already talked about it on Instagram, you were like, it's Bailey's, duh. And I didn't love the duh. And then I made her say the whole brand. It's Bailey's Irish Cream, duh. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, I'm sorry if I was like, no, I'm.
That is so funny.
I'm good. But it does crack me up because so many people are like, that's way too easy. And then other people are like, I can't get it. So just because it's like my teacher told me I was very good at math, just because it's easy for you, it's not easy for everybody. So congratulations, Lexi. Congratulations to Bridget Cervero, to Bianca Smith, to Rachel, and perfectly Irish sounding Molly McGuire.
Perfect.
So congratulations, you guys. Thanks for playing the game. If you don't play, please check it out on Wednesday. Set an alert. It sends it out in the middle of the day and guess our Insta Egg. And also check out our Instagram every week we do a package of supplemental materials for every episode that we do, so you can see visuals of the things that we talk about.
And while giving shout outs, I'd like to give some shout outs to some lovely listeners who have left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We have Poppy Flower, cute name. This podcast makes me cackle in a loud, uncontrollable way. Every episode, it gives me surprise guffaws that wake sleeping dogs.
Wow, that's a visual.
That is a loud guffaw.
That might be a witch.
Well, I'm sorry to your pooches, but happy for you.
Wait, Wizard of Oz, witch? What did she use to make him fall asleep? Poppies. Oh my God, this is the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, we figured it out. Do you think she got a free burger when she adopted that dog? Marion Dubois says, love, love, love on brand. We're so funny. Love the show. Get to learn a little bit, but it's easy listening. We are easy listening.
Okay.
Emily in Vermont says, humor, positivity, and some award-winning research. Good stuff. So if you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do that. It helps the show. It helps us spread the word. Tell your friends. Really appreciate it. And as we said, check out our Instagram, @OnBrandThePod, TikTok, @OnBrandThePodcast. You can play John's Insta Egg game. You can send us messages. If you have any thoughts on Forever 21, we want to hear them. They might even turn into a segment on our Patreon, which is Freak Fic, where if you tell us a story about Forever 21, John will write it into a bit of freak fiction, and he'll kind of dramatize it a bit. We have a lot of fun with that. Check out our Patreon if you want more of us. It's less learny and more chatty, but just as much fun. And we will see you next time.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.